Welcome to this explainer. Today we are going to completely demystify circle geometry. And honestly, we're going to turn what usually feels like just rote memorization into a totally fascinating journey of pure logic. Forget trying to memorize a dry textbook full of formulas. Instead, we're going to build these mathematical rules right from the ground up. Because once you actually see the underlying structure, these theorems won't just be rules you have to remember. They're going to be obvious conclusions that you can clearly see for yourself. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We've got 1. The perfect shape. 2. The power of 3 points. 3. Chords, centers, and distance. 4. The angle at the center. And finally, 5. Concyclic points and quadrilaterals. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The perfect shape. Back to basics.
So we literally see them absolutely everywhere in our daily lives, right? From the wheels on our cars to the coins in our pockets. But mathematically speaking, what exactly is a circle? Well, it's actually way more than just a round line drawn on a piece of paper. If we want to truly grasp the theorems we'll be discussing today, we first have to understand the fundamental law that governs this entire shape. A circle is technically what mathematicians call a locus. Now, locus is really just a formal term for a set of points that satisfy a very specific given condition. For a circle, that strict rule is incredibly simple, but man is it powerful. All points on a plane must be exactly equidistant from one given anchor point. So a circle is essentially an infinite set of points following the single unbreakable law of distance. And from that single rule of equidistant points, a circle naturally generates an anatomy of infinite reflective and rotational symmetry. You've got the center, which acts as that given anchor point. You have the radius, which is your constant distance extending outward. You have a diameter, which is a specific chord passing perfectly through that center point from one side to the other. And because every single edge point is exactly the same distance from the middle, the shape holds perfect symmetry. You get reflective symmetry across any diameter, meaning you can fold it exactly in half in literally any direction. And it exhibits rotational symmetry around its center across every possible angle. It's flawless.
Moving right along to Section 2. The power of 3 points. Connecting the dots.
Imagine just dropping points onto a flat surface. If you happen to place 3 or more of those points on a perfectly straight line, you get what mathematicians call collinear points. And because they're perfectly aligned in a row, they simply cannot form a triangle. If you tried to calculate it, the area of the triangle they would define is exactly 0. But think about the contrast here, because this is where it gets really cool. We know collinear points lie on a single straight line with a 0 area triangle. But if you take just one of those points, just slightly off the line, creating a triangle with actual area, those 3 non-collinear points will forever define one unique, perfect circle. It's a fundamental theorem. There is always one, and only one, unique circle passing perfectly through 3 non-collinear points.
All right, Section 3. Chords, centers, and distance. The if-then relationships. Think of these next theorems as perfect logical mirrors. If you have equal chords, meaning 2 straight lines crossing the circle that are the exact same length, they will subtend or basically create equal angles at the center of the circle. And the reverse is entirely true. Chords of a circle that subtend equal angles at the center, well, they must be of equal length. It's a beautifully balanced if-then relationship, a real two-way street.
Geometry is highly procedural, which actually makes it super predictable. If you simply draw a line joining the center of a circle to the exact midpoint of a chord, there is an absolutely unavoidable result. That intersecting line is perfectly perpendicular to the chord. It just has to be. By cutting the chord exactly in half from the absolute center of the circle, you mathematically guarantee a perfect 90-degree intersection. And this brilliantly illustrates the reverse logic too. What if we start with the angle instead of the midpoint? If you drop a perpendicular line straight down from the center to a chord, meaning you intentionally create that 90-degree angle first, it naturally slices the chord precisely in 2. It perfectly bisects the chord into 2 equal halves, every single time. The locus rule we discussed earlier dictates everything about distance here. Equal length chords, well, they must sit at the exact same distance from the center of the circle. They have to. Conversely, if you're given 2 unequal chords, the longer chord is always physically closer to the middle. Just picture it in your mind for a second. The widest possible chord is the diameter, which sits exactly on the center point. So naturally, the longer a chord gets, the closer it's pushing itself toward that center.
Section 4. The angle at the center. Expanding our view.
So the crucial point here is this multiplier, 2x. The central angle theorem states that the angle subtended by an arc at the center of a circle is always exactly double or twice the angle it subtends at any point on the remaining part of the circle outside that arc. Take a second to picture that. If the arc creates a 30-degree angle way out on the outer edge, it is pulling a 60-degree angle right at the exact center. Let's apply that 2x rule to something we already know. Think about a straight diameter line. A diameter passes perfectly through the center, meaning it subtends a flat 180-degree angle. Well, because 180 is exactly double 90, that diameter will always cut a perfect 90-degree corner at any point along the circle's edge. This is a super famous corollary. The angle subtended by a diameter at any point on the circle is exactly 90 degrees, no exceptions. And that brings us to our final section, number 5, concyclic points and quadrilaterals, bringing it all together. The theorem here states that if a line segment between 2 points subtends equal angles at 2 other points on the same side of the segment, all 4 points lie on a single circle. In simpler terms, if you spot equal angles sprouting from the exact same base segment, you have mathematically proven that all 4 of those points share one circle. Mathematicians formally call this being concyclic. Now, when you connect those 4 concyclic points together, you build a cyclic quadrilateral. And by doing this, you're securely locking a 4-sided shape inside the perfect harmony of our original locus. Because the vertices are concyclic, every single corner of that 4-sided shape is bound by the exact same radius from the center. It all comes perfectly back to that unbreakable law of distance we started with.
I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought as we wrap up today's explainer. If we can derive all these incredible rules, perpendicular bisectors, equal chords, the 2x angle rule, and cyclic quadrilaterals, from just a single point and a fixed distance, what else is waiting to be discovered in the perfect symmetry of a circle? The logic is all right there, just waiting for you to connect the dots.